Good afternoon, everyone. I'm a high school special education teacher who teaches algebra in resource and co-taught settings. Over the past few years, our team has been noticing that students have slowly been losing their mathematical foundation. Examples of inadequate mathematical skills for ninth grade students include students unable to graph points on the coordinate plane, something they should have learned back in sixth grade, students not having any basic reasoning skills, and students still struggling to multiply and divide whole numbers in their head. That goes back to elementary school. My problem in practice is that high school students lack a foundation and they need to build their basic mathematical skills. Here are 8 resources that help solve this problem in practice. The first article is a quantitative study of mathematical language in upper elementary classrooms. This research study involved how often teachers and students use mathematical language and the results of standardized test scores in 4th and 5th grade classrooms. These researchers analyzed transcripts of classroom audio recordings looking for key math keywords spoken by teachers and students, and that was compared with the findings of the standardized test scores. And what these researchers found out is that the more frequently teachers modeled the language, the more frequently students used it in the classroom. And those students typically had higher test scores than their peers. My second resource is Teaching and Learning of Geometry, a literature review on current developments in theory and practice. This study investigated trends in teaching of geometry and the concerns that schools were actually cutting back on the subject. So this research study involves scanning databases and searching for peer-reviewed articles that match certain geometric keywords. The results were then divided into categories and further analyzed. And these researchers discovered that the geometry is still a major part of mathematics, and teachers are continuing to research new methods and new teaching strategies. So geometry is not going anywhere. Research proved it. Okay, resource number 3. This article is Mathematical Thinking and Learning in Early Childhood, a consolidated qualitative synthesis of cutting-edge research literature. This study used a qualitative approach to consolidate current research on early childhood mathematical thinking to help struggling learners build a solid foundation. So after compiling the information and noticing patterns, researchers concluded that success in math classroom is heavily connected to how children think, play, and interact with their classmates in the environment. Teachers can use hands-on mathematical games and activities with young kids, help them understand and remember concepts. Okay, resource number 4. This article is exploring the proficiency of basic mathematical facts among primary mathematics teachers. Using a qualitative procedure, this study was created to determine the proficiency of math teachers and their instructional techniques. The study gave primary school teachers in northern India a questionnaire with open-ended questions, asking them with their familiarity of basic mathematics, instructional methods, and time spent teaching the subject. Researchers discovered that many math teachers lacked a strong grasp of basic mathematics as well as modern teaching techniques, focusing more on teacher-focused direct instructions, including having students count on their fingers. Okay, resource number 5. This article is High School Students' Reasons for Disliking Mathematics, the intersection between a teacher's role and student beliefs. Using a mixed method research strategy, this researcher analyzed why so many high school students had a dislike towards math. This survey was conducted in northern Mexico, and students were given a questionnaire with both open-ended and a series of ranking questions. This researcher discovered that most students lacked confidence in math, and they also had low motivation based on previously unpleasant math classroom experiences. It was noted that teacher encouragement had a significant positive impact on students' attitudes towards math. Okay, resource number 6. A mixed method study of student engagement, attitude, and achievement in grade 10 mathematics. Using a mixed method research strategy, the researcher attempted to determine why current interventions for ninth grade students were not sufficiently helping them be prepared for 10th grade math. The research study used a combination of surveys and assessment scores, and the results were then analyzed. This researcher discovered that math intervention, it helped improve student engagement, but actually had little impact on academic achievement. It was noted that traditionally, interventions like this usually do have a positive impact on academic scores. This time it did not. And it was noted that several key factors were at play, and they may have contributed to this unexpected outcome. But traditionally, it's the opposite effect. Okay, resource number 7. Sustainable learning, cognitive gains, and improved attitudes in college algebra flipped classrooms. This is another mixed method research study and investigated how teacher-centered instruction is no longer adequate to educate college students and improve their critical thinking and problem-solving skills. This study used 2 groups of freshmen at a college in the Philippines. One group used conventional teaching methods, while the other group used flipped classroom pedagogy, making it a student-centered instruction. So after analyzing the pre-test and post-tests and the thoughts recorded in the students' journals, the researchers discovered that engaging student-centered activities had significant impacts on the positivity and motivation of the students and their academic performance as well. Okay, resource number 8. How does a mathematician fit in? A mixed method analysis of university students' sense of belonging in mathematics. This mixed method research study involved researchers trying to understand why college math students feel a sense of belonging in class, particularly among minority students. The study used a questionnaire with ranking questions and open-ended questions. The researchers discovered that students fell within one of 3 social categories, depending on their academic strengths or social skills. So basically with results, they had either students who had the high achievers were in one category, the students who were very social were in a different category, and students who were neither high achieving or social, they fell into the 3rd category. And this study implies that all students can feel welcomed when they have positive relationships with teachers and their peers. So how does this information inform or improve professional practice? Well, these research studies inform me that to strengthen the mathematical foundation of high school students, we need to do the following. We need to start when the students are young. Overall, classrooms have to be inclusive and a welcoming environment. Teachers need to be supported, and lessons should be more student-focused, engaging, and then when they're younger, a whole lot more hands-on and concrete. The goal here is to get them engaged, get them feeling all pumped up, feeling all energetic, having them enjoy the experience, and with them being more hands-on and more concrete, they're more likely to remember those skills and take that with them into the future and keep being more and more productive and engaging in the future with their math classes. So in my classroom, this means being more positive and supportive with my students, creating more student-centered activities where they can work together, and having a welcoming classroom environment where the students have a sense of belonging. Okay, reflection. So to me, this research was actually fascinating as it involved studies from around the world and at different levels of education, going from early elementary school all the way to college. And despite the large range in ages, the fundamental message was similar in almost all these students. You have to have a welcoming classroom. You have to have supportive teachers. You have to have student-focused lessons. It's the same message across all of these environments, and in the end result is a very positive message for the students and teachers and everyone moving forward. So after going through this whole research process, it really made me appreciate it and seeing the value of it. And this has inspired me to keep going forward and continuing. And we have more problems in the future. Remember, okay, go back. Remember how we did the research, and the answers, they are out there. Okay, everyone. Thank you.